Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to see how to host a simple static website on Google Cloud. And also we will connect a domain with it. And I will also show you how to activate SSL certificates on the VM. Okay, so let's begin. So now to do this exercise, you will need to have an account in Google Cloud with billing activated. Okay, so either you must be having a free account where you have used your credit card to activate the account, and once you activate the account for the first time you will get $300 credits. Or else if you are a college engineering students, then you can request your teacher to apply to Google Cloud for educational grants, where each student gets around $50 credits to use the cloud. So in any case, you need to have any one of these two things to do this exercise. So before we start, let me show you at the end what we are going to achieve. So I have created a static portfolio website, just a simple website. So you can see it is right now connected to this particular domain, and it is hosted in Google Cloud. So this is the instance in which it is hosted. So we are going to do this, and if you see here, we can also see the connection is secure. That means it is HTTPS. So we are also going to see how to activate this in your website. Okay, so let's begin. So first and foremost, there are two things that is required: a Google Cloud account, and you also need to buy a domain. So to buy a domain, you need to get it from any registrar. So like for example, you can go to bigrock.in, or you can go to GoDaddy or Namecheap or name.com. There are many registrars from where you can buy a domain. So the process is very simple. You just go to domains, okay, and you search for a specific domain over here. Let's say, okay, so I just search for this, and if it is available, it will show it to me like this over here, and I can click on add to cart, do the payment, and buy the domain. That's simple. Okay, or else if you do not want to invest in any domain names, then and you are a student, then you can sign up for a GitHub student developer pack, in which you get, let me just show you, GitHub student developer pack. So when you open this, this is provided free of cost uh, by GitHub. So GitHub has tie-up with many providers. So from here, it all the offers start. So you can see Namecheap provides 1 year domain name registration or for .me domains for free. Then there is name.com that will give you there is 15 domain extensions from which you can select. That is also again free for 1 year. Then if you go down, you can also get .tech domains. So this also is available free for 1 year. Now I would suggest, if you do not have a domain and if you do not want to invest in anything and you have a student developer pack activated, then you can simply use this website tech domains, because this will not require you to add a credit card or anything. It will directly get activated, but others you may need to activate using a credit card, even though you will not be charged anything, but still you will need a credit card. Okay, now there is one question that arises, is how to activate this student developer pack. So the only thing you need to do is click on sign up, and under sign up you will have to register using an email ID which is provided by your college. Okay, so it will not be Gmail or MSN or anything like that. It will be from your college domain, and using that you sign up, and along after clicking this button you have to use that email, and you will also have to upload your ID card where the year is properly mentioned. Okay, so in which year you are currently admitted. So if that is there, it gets activated within a day, and once that is activated, then you can go down over here to the respective websites and get your domain. Okay, so I have purchased my domain shiburaj.com, and it is in with Hostinger, so I will be showing you in this. And since my original domain is already hosted, so I will be using a subdomain, but the steps and procedure remains the same whether it is for a subdomain or the main domain. Okay, so let's begin with the exercise. So first, let's open up Google Cloud and sign into your account. Okay, check to see to it that if you are a student, then you are logged in with your college email. Okay, and then uh, if you are logging in for the first time, it will ask you to create a project. So creating a project is very simple. You can just click new project, and you can write your project name and click create, and that will get created. Okay, so let me go back. And so once your project is created, then you can open up, go to your, so for example, if you are over here, you can go to your menu, go to compute engine, and go to virtual machines. So this is the page. So in this page, I already have a machine that is listed. In your case, it will maybe blank. So let's start by creating a new instance. So to create a new instance, you can see a button up on top called create instance. So we will click on that. Okay, now before I start with the actual creation of the instance, let me show you the repo that I have built, where the website that I'm going to host is there. But in here, I will share this link in the description so that you can also refer. So the entire steps to deploy the website is there in the README file. So you can see which is the website and what all things are required. So you can click on this to open the cloud console and login, and then entire steps is mentioned over here. So let's go there, do it one by one. So let's come over here. So I have created create VM. So inside this I have to give a name. Okay, so if you want you can change it, but don't use a space. So let's say, okay, so that is my website name. Then we will need to select a region. Region is where you want the website to be, the machine to be there, right? So I'm going to select my region. Okay, so you can see currently it is also showing me what will be the monthly cost of running this instance. So obviously it is right now it's very costly. So I will change the type of instance to micro. As soon as I select micro, you can see the monthly cost comes down to $8.54. Right? Perfect. So now this is enough for my static website. In fact, I can even go lower than this. It would still work. Okay, so anyway, so once this is done, don't click on create, because we have to complete all these steps, then only the instance is properly configured. Okay, so because right now we have only configured the machine, we have to do the rest of the things also. So let's select the OS. So from here you can see right now Debian is selected. Okay, so if you want you can change it. I am a fan of Ubuntu, so I will be selecting Ubuntu. Okay, and I think that is it. And 10 GB, everything is fine. Select. If you want to attach additional disks, you can do that, but I don't want anything extra. So let's see data protection. So do you want to take snapshots? So no, because I'm just using it to show you a demo. So I don't want any backups, and rest of the things I will leave it as it is. Then the networking, this is very important because we are going to host a static website. We will be allowing these two things, HTTP and HTTPS, and then we can come down. Okay, then the rest of the things you can just you can check it once, and then there is nothing to be changed, I guess. Let's see. Okay, nothing. That's it. I don't want to use any startup script. We will set it up ourselves. So that's it. We can click on create. So now the machine is spinning up. So let's go to the repository. So we have completed the first step, that is to create a VM instance. Let's check out the next step. So once the instance is created, we have to assign a static IP address. So let's see what is the next step. So the next step is, so for example, now this machine has been spin up. Now you can see there is an IP address, public IP address and a private IP address. So the public IP address will be used to access the machine from the outside world. But the problem with this is, let me just get inside. So if you go down, and you can check the network interfaces, you are getting an IP, external IP address, but it is written that is it is ephemeral. This means it is temporary, right? But we want it to be static so that it does not change if the machine reboots. Okay, so to do that, I will just come over here and I will just say IP addresses. So I will select this. Okay, so you can see there are two um, external IP addresses. One is already static, that is assigned to my other machine, and here there is a new IP address that is called, that is ephemeral. So I want to convert this into a static IP. So to how to do that, it's very simple. You can just click over here and click on promote to static IP address. Okay, so reserve, and let's just wait for it. And that's it. Now this has become now static IP address. Okay, so now our step 2 is also done. So now we have a machine, we have an IP address which is static. Now let's switch to the domains. Okay, so let's do the domains, and then we will set up the uh, then we will set up the machine. Okay, so to set up the domain, you need to first log in into your registrar's DNS portal. Okay, so for example, I am using Hostinger and I have opened this portal, DNS zone editor. So something similar to this will be there in every registrar's page. Okay, so there will be a domain management page where you will get something like this. Okay, so the looks and feels may change based on the provider, but the end product is going to remain the same. So I already have a main domain, right? So if you check out my domain, so for example, you can see this record. So it is forwarded to this particular IP address. Okay, so whenever you want to connect a domain, you want to forward that particular domain to a particular machine with a public IP address, then you have to set up an A record. Okay, so there are different types of records you can see. Okay, so I'm not explaining all the different records because for the time being we only require the A record. So to forward a specific domain to a machine's IP address, you just have to mention the domain over here and the IP address over here. That's it, and create a record. It should be an A type record. So let's say, for example, let's call it my website, okay, dot shiburaj.com. Okay, so this is just an example. In your case, it will not be a subdomain because I have already used my main domain, so I'm creating a subdomain. Okay, so this is my website. Okay, and this is going to point to the IP address. So this is my IP address that I want to use. Let's copy that and paste it over here. So now whenever I go to this website, it is going to go to this IP address. Okay, let's click on add record. So I would confirm yes, and it is added. Once this is done, next, now this usually takes 24 hours as as it is mentioned here, but it will get updated in next 2-3 minutes. Okay, most probably it will, but let's, till that time, let's just complete the remaining steps and then we will check whether it is updated. Let's go back to compute engine virtual instance, VM instance, and you can see our machine is running now. Right now, if I click on this and if I try to open it, thing gets opened because the machine that we have created, it doesn't have any server software running. So now we have to log into this and uh, set it up. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So now to check, now to set up the server, you will first need, because it's a static website, you will need a web server. Now to install a web server, you can install either Apache or Nginx. So I prefer Nginx, so I'm installing Nginx. So the command is mentioned over here. So let's do that. So how to connect to this instance? So simple, you just click on this SSH button. Click on authorize, and you are inside the machine. Perfect. So now we can start writing the commands. So the first command that I'm going to do is to update the repositories. So sudo apt update. The next command is to install Nginx. So let's copy that. So this is done. Let's paste the next command and press enter. Yes, that is getting installed. Let's check the next steps. Okay, now the files that we want is stored in this particular directory. In case of Nginx, it is var www.html. So let's first delete everything, okay, inside this, and then clone our repo. Okay, so these are the commands. So let's run it one by one. This is done. We are inside that folder. Let's delete everything that is inside the folder because it will be replaced by our website. So now this is giving me an error, so I need to add sudo in front of it, and that's done. Next, I will clone my repo. So first I will paste this, and then I need to find out my repo URL. So let's go to the top, get this URL, and then let's come over here and paste it. And here, don't press enter at this stage, because this will create uh, a clone inside this folder. Okay, it will create another folder called my portfolio static. We don't want that. It should be here itself. So to do that, you just put a dot at the end. So after your GitHub repo link, you add a space and then put a dot. Press enter. So that has cloned. Let me check ls. Yes, so it is there, right? So now our website is running. Okay, so now let's check whether it is actually working or not. So let's click on the domain. Okay, so currently it is not working because I think it is using HTTPS. So let's remove that. Okay, it's saying the site is not secure. That is fine, and the website is live. Okay, but currently you can see it is not secure because HTTPS is not installed. That is reason number one. Second is it is currently opening with the IP address, not with the domain name. Okay, so the next step is to connect our domain. Okay, so even though we have forwarded the domain from this hostinger site, we have added the IP address, but the machine needs to know that what is the domain name. Okay, so the connection has to be done from both the ends, the registrar as well as the server. Okay, so the registrar part is done. Now we will configure the server. So let's see how to do that. So that will be our next step. So you can see configure Nginx for SSL and certbot. Okay, so now next we have to configure the default site of Nginx. Okay, so that is there inside this directory. Okay, so we will be editing this. So let's copy and open this. So this is opened. Now we can go down till you find server name. Okay, so in server name currently there is an underscore. Remove that, and instead of that you just have to put your domain name. So our domain name was this. Okay, so my website shubraj.com, right? So I will put that over here, and that's it. So this is done. So let's check any step is pending, then save it and then reload. Okay, so that's it. So let's Control O to write, press enter to save, then Control X to exit. Okay, so now that is saved. Now we need to restart Nginx so that the new configurations is implemented. So let's restart. So now the Nginx is reloaded. Okay, so now we can start using the domain provided the domain is forwarded. So let's simply do ping, and sorry, we have to copy the domain name. Let's copy the domain name and paste it over here. Let's try, and yes, it is getting forwarded to our new IP address. Good. So the website has been forwarded to over here. So the whatever DNS record we have updated in Hostinger has been started reflected. Okay, it is being reflected, so we can do the rest of the steps. Okay, so now just to test it out, so right now it is working with the domain name, sorry, with the IP address. Let's try it with the uh, domain name. What was the domain name? Okay, so let's open it with the domain name, press enter. Okay, so click continue, and you can see it has been connected. Okay, so our website is working, but still there is one issue pending, that is HTTPS is not yet implemented, and that is very very simple to implement. It is just 2 steps and you will be ready. So now for getting a SSL certificate, you can either get a premium certificate, or you can get a free certificate from Let's Encrypt. So I would prefer you use this. Okay. So to get this, it's very simple. You just install their software. So let's go to your command prompt and paste. I think I missed the S. Okay. So press enter. So this will install certbot. So what certbot does is it regularly checks. So the problem with Let's Encrypt is it gives you the certificate for 3 months. Every 3 months, before the 3 months expire, you have to renew the certificate. So what certbot does is it keeps track of all the certificates and renews whenever necessary. Okay, so that's why we will install this and then we will run this command, copy, and here we have to specify the domain name for which you want to get the certificate. Okay, so let's get the domain name and here I will paste it. Okay, now if you have multiple domain names, like in many cases you will have shiburaj.com and www.shiburaj.com, in that case you can just add another -d and put another domain name. Okay, so that's it. Let's press enter. So this will ask you for an email address. So let me put my email address. Okay, and that's it. So it will ask you for to agree terms of service. Just press A and agree. Do you want yes? Obtaining new certificate. So all these steps it will go through. Once it is complete, your website will have a SSL certificate. Now before it finishes, it will ask you for one more thing, that do you want to enforce HTTPS. Okay, so now before if you let's say for example you want HTTPS to be there but it is optional, so in that case you can just press 1, so no redirect. But if you want the only way you can open the website is using HTTPS only, which is much more secure, so you will put 2. So in our case we will put 2, so that whatever the user tries, it will always open using HTTPS. So let's press 2 and that's it. So our HTTPS certificate is now installed. So let's open it and verify. So right now you can see it is not secure. Let's press a refresh and you can see now that not secure part is gone and you can check that the connection is secure, and you can check the certificate also. Okay, so this is the certificate. It's provided from Let's Encrypt. Okay, so all the details are available over here. Okay, so anyway, so this is how you can create a simple website, host it on Google Cloud, and you can register a domain and forward it. And after forwarding it, after doing the necessary DNS records, you can simply use certbot to get a certificate, SSL certificate for your website. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you, everyone.